Hello, everybody. Welcome back to another episode of Backstage Spotlight. I have the lovely Emma, who is a fellow podcaster. Hello.
Hello.
Thank
Thank
you.
you for having me.
Thank you for joining me. It's an absolute pleasure to have you on. Would you like to introduce yourself and say what your podcast is called?
Yes, so my name is Emma Gyasi. My podcast is called Mind, Body, Soul and Stage. And I initially set it up because I felt that having been married to an actor for 25 years and then being the parent of someone who decided to become a performer and an actor, there were lots of stuff that we go through, I guess, at home and lots of stuff that's not readily available, I think, for performers that drama school and uni don't and theatre school don't always prepare people for the real life. And they offer some like amazing things before you go into industry, aside from training. But I just felt like the conversations we were having with like friends and family and people that in the industry, they're not really readily sort of available or shared, and they could kind of, help others, especially young people coming into the industry. I used to teach young people, so yeah, I have a soft spot for helping young people and
Oh,
get into careers.
that is really lovely. So, for people who are auditioning for drama schools and crossing that path from hobby to professional, what is something you would say to them in terms of looking towards having performing as a career and not kind of putting them off, but just making them open-minded about the things that they can go through having it as a career?
Yeah, I think probably if I think back to kind of helping students get into drama school and also our daughter, um, the main things I think are to just know it's what you want to do. If
Yeah.
you really love it, if you really love it, absolutely go for it. I think, you know, a lot of us don't get to do the jobs that we would absolutely love to do. And I think that is so important. Also being aware that it doesn't always pay the bills and there are gaps and it's not consistent. Um, Back then I would have said, make sure it's what you want to do, train for it, train well for it, be committed to it. Um, but don't kind of forget other things like, make sure you finish the course and stuff like that. And get
Yeah.
your maths and English and that sort of. I think now though, I was teaching for about 15 plus years. Um, since 2004, and a lot's changed since then. And I think careers are so different now, whatever you go into. So actually, I think careers are more like an artist's career in
Yeah.
general now because nothing, everything's so flexible and people have more than one job. And so, yeah, I think if it's in your heart to do, absolutely go for it, but really, um, really commit to it and you can't really go wrong. However, whatever your path ends up doing, you can't go wrong really. I
Yeah.
personally don't think.
That's nice. So I had Elena on, your daughter, good few months ago now. And for those of you who are listening, she is in Mean Girls as Gretchen, which I've seen her. She was fantastic. So as a mother and as a wife of people who are in the industry performing on stage every night, how do you support her well-being? And are there those low moments that you don't see from the outside, for example, in the audition processes? And how does your role as a mother support her?
That's quite a big question. Well, hopefully I am the kind of best supporter I can be as a mother. It's hard sometimes being sort of in the industry. I have to have like a work, colleague supporter hat on and a mother supporter
Yeah,
cheerleader hat
yeah,
on. Obviously, the mother always comes out first. It always comes first.
of course.
Um, and it's been helpful having a knowledge of the industry um, before she's gone into it because our families, our parents, like my husband's parents, didn't have a clue about the industry and they're like, what are you doing? How are you going to earn a living doing this? So I think it's been helpful for her that she has parents who know the industry, who have been in the up and down of it. Um, so from kind of a professional stance, that's kind of been quite helpful for
Yeah,
her, I
yeah,
would think. Um, and as a mum, encouragement and support is always first. I think I didn't go into the industry as a performer because I don't think I could do that for myself. I can do it for the people I love, but I don't know how they do it. Going to audition after audition after audition and you know, um that it is quite hard and but I feel like for them I can kind of keep the momentum going and say, you've got this, keep it up. I probably am, because I am her mum, I'm a bit of a nag. So anything I say can also be said by someone completely different and it will land, but it might not land when I say it all the time. So we have that going on. But I think also in the low moments, it's just kind of, you just have to be there and just be ready to kind of support whatever feelings are coming out. Sometimes it's frustration, sometimes it's sadness, sometimes it's both, sometimes it's excitement. So it's like in the waiting to hear about Mean Girls in particular, it was like, oh, I didn't want to keep asking her questions about it because, we were like excited as well. She'd gone to like 6 or 7 rounds of this audition. And David actually said to me, he's like, oh my God, I know exactly what you feel like now because he'd never been on that
yeah.
side. So it was new with him. And then going to her, press night and opening night, he was like, oh my God, how have you been doing this for like 20 plus years? And I was like, I know. But you find it for the people you love and care about. And also I know it's what she wanted to do. I know it's what David wants to do. They can't see themselves doing anything else. They're good at lots of other things, which they do have done and do continue to do. But I kind of I love that they have a passion and they're just going for it. And that's what I always try and encourage and try and, in up and down moments, bring them back to and myself back to like, this is why you're doing it, and you know,
Yeah, that's
this is
so
why you
lovely.
keep going.
It sounds like
Yeah,
you
I hope
have,
that.
yeah, for sure. It sounds like you have such a lovely family dynamic. And one thing I remember when we did the podcast with your daughter, she said that every new year you come together as a family and you write down goals and things that you'd like to achieve in that next year, and then you revisit that and tick it off. How did that all start? Because I think that is such a lovely idea.
Oh, yeah. I can't remember how it started off actually. I really can't remember. Maybe I saw I think it was like just resolutions, hearing people say
Yeah.
resolutions and I sometimes they can be a bit like, oh, should you set them? Should you not set them? And I was like, what about just setting things you'd like to achieve in the year? It could be like keep my room tidy at the
Yeah.
time they were a lot younger. It could be something like, eat one piece of fruit a day to like, you know, get a leading role in like the biggest film, biggest Marvel film ever. And it could be anything, big or small. And it was just a fun activity initially. But then when we got to the first, end of the first time we did it, and then saw things being ticked off, it was a really nice reminder of the year that had gone by and what, maybe what didn't go to plan and do we roll it over and um basically it was me just trying to get some family time, no one everyone wants to do different things, especially when your kids are teenagers.
Yeah.
Um it was a good opportunity for me to kind of go, oh, like why don't we just set this, and then we sort of framed it and put it on the wall, and Um, yeah, it just stuck. It just stuck. And Elena actually said that she wants to come around and do it because she's moved out now. So she's like, don't do it without me. So that's
Oh,
quite nice.
so lovely. Can I ask what's on there for 2025?
Well, I'm glad you asked that because we still have to do it because she hasn't been round yet. When all four of us together, David's filming in the US. She's busy with Mean Girls. And yeah, so we have, I actually was saying to someone yesterday, I was like, oh my gosh, we haven't done our like a year goals and stuff. And there's like one day left. I might just take the 24 down and wait till we're all together and then get it on
Yeah.
there. But yeah, it'd be interesting to see what the goals are for everybody.
Yeah. Do you have any ideas of what you want to put on there?
Um, I think. Yeah, time for myself is always is one that gets rolled over and for all of us. But, I think with the podcast, I definitely want to keep speaking to more people and sharing other performer stories because I mean it's a tiny little platform that I've got and but I feel like it does help people, you know, if it helps one person in the industry or if someone switches it on and here's another person's story that's like theirs or it gives them inspiration, keeps them going, then I feel like I've done my job with that. And again, it's just a passion of mine, so I'd love to keep that going. And I'm hopefully going to do a wellness day for performers with Scrum Theatre in Hammersmith. They have quite a big incentive to, you know, mission to help creatives. So hopefully I'll be doing something with them in the new year.
Lovely. Oh, that's really nice to hear. As someone who,
Mhm.
is involved in quite a lot, what do you like to do in your downtime? I think it's really important to have a few things that are separate to what you do as a job and what you do, out there. Are there things that you enjoy to do just for you?
Me personally, or like as a for performance, you mean just me?
Yeah.
Yeah. I've so I've always I used to be a dance teacher and I love dancing for wellness. I attended something called Movement is Medicine. I don't know if you've heard of it, but
Yeah.
it's absolutely amazing. It was so much fun. Um, so I love anything like that. I still teach fitness every now and again. So um, I have kind of paused teaching so many classes and I just cover now because I'm doing other things with the podcast and production company. But I have got into weight training. Um, so yeah, I think I love it, which is quite a big statement. But
It is.
most people
I've
be
tried it
like,
so
oh,
many
please.
times. Yeah, I've tried it and I can't get on board with it. With my partner is a PT and I just can't cope with it. Like
Oh my gosh.
when I go to the gym
Yeah.
with him, he's like, "Hmm," and I can't do it.
It's so bizarre. Yeah, I've been exactly the same. And David's the same. Like he absolutely loves, he's always loved training, weight training in particular. And mostly like mental wellness. And I have that with classes, like with Pilates, with dance classes, anything aerobic or with loud music that's fun. But the weight training, going to the gym on your own and doing a program, I just could not get on board unless I was meeting a PT that was doing it with me. Um, I just couldn't do it. So actually, my goal for last year was, you know, go to the gym on your own for yourself. And I've got an amazing online PT called Tori, who I meet up with once a month and we chat. Um, she's wonderful, and she's just really helped me reframe why I go. And I
Yeah.
think that's what's helped me the most. It's kind of my goal isn't a target to eat a certain amount or look a certain way. Although those things are always there, you know, we're human. We always want to look slightly different or, you know, what our version of better might be. But I've kind of tried to really get rid of that narrative and focus on why. why I go, what am I going for? And as I'm getting a bit older, senior, getting into more senior numbers, um, it's kind of given me a drive to do it more. And yeah, I'm really proud that I go on my own without anyone meeting me there and going through the program with me. So um, yeah, and I feel quite empowered by that, and that does set me up for the day. But I'll always love dancing in any capacity.
It's so interesting you say that because with the gym and going for yourself, it really is like a brain switch, isn't it? You either can
Yeah.
find it a drag, or you can just say to yourself, I'm going because I want to feel good after, and I'm the only person who will make myself feel like that. And once you flick that switch, you're fine. But I still haven't found that switch in my brain yet. But I feel like,
That's all right. You
yeah,
they do. No,
exactly.
it's fine. But it does make a difference.
For sure. And I feel like with a lot of things, it is your brain and how you talk to yourself. Have you had anyone on your podcast talking about how they speak to themselves and how it is like what is it called, like growth mindset and how you think
Mm.
about your well-being?
I'm trying to think of anyone in particular. I think Tamsin Merchant was really wonderful to speak to. She had such an amazing outlook on life, and she talked about this cycle, um, this sort of like life cycle that we go round in. And I don't want to like misquote her, you have to listen to it. But I feel like it really gave her peace in times of, the in-betweenness of jobs and, or when she's also an author, deadlines and in the midst of all of that. And she just had such a amazing peace about her. Um, and I think that's because she had explored kind of, right, these feelings and what does this mean and why do I feel this and how can I work with this rather than work against it, and how can I feed myself when I feel like, I'm not being fed by the industry or, in not necessarily like in mentally, because obviously if you're not getting the audition you want or you don't get the part you originally went for or doesn't the job doesn't work out how you kind of intended, um, it does a number on your mental health every time. And I think performers get accustomed to it. Get accustomed to rejection, get accustomed to, oh, now we've got an amazing job and now it's finished. And now I've made loads of friends and now they're all gone. And um, most people have said that therapy has been the thing that's helped them. And whether that's online, physically speaking to someone, having a group of friends that really get you, that you can talk to, that then helps you reinforce
Mm.
how you talk to yourself, I guess, in your own time. Um, yeah, that's been the main thing.
Interesting. Let's talk about auditions. So, for example, if self-tape came through in your house, what would be the process of setting up, filming that to send it off?
Oh God. The process is usually, Mum, Ems, what are you doing tomorrow? Can you do a tape with me? And I'm like, oh no, sure.
How many, before you
I
carry
did
on?
get to,
Oh, sorry. Before you carry on, how many tapes do you think you've read in for?
oh my gosh. I don't know. Maybe it's pushing, oh, I don't know, maybe 100. I don't know.
Oh my
Oh,
God.
if you go for like 25 years, tapes, because David used to do tapes a lot before COVID happened.
Yeah.
We were going to move to America. Um, he got an amazing job, but then the visa situation fell through because they decided to film at Pinewood. So we didn't move to LA and ended up staying in England. And he actually ended up doing a lot of self tapes. when all our other friends were moving to LA and saying, we need to move there, we need to move there to audition. So if I think from like 2010, we've been basically doing tapes, um, then including Elena, it's probably quite a lot.
So go on then, go back to like what the process would be.
God. So yeah, I mean, I dread to think as well what the casting people must think when they hear, because sometimes I'm like, oh yeah, that was really good. I nailed that. And it's not even my audition. I just get overexcited with it. Or I'm really fed up because I've got other things to do and I don't give a good read at all. But yeah, it's like, what are you doing? It's really last minute. I rearrange my day, not all the time, but we have an ensuite in our bedroom, and that little ensuite bathroom is gold. It's got great lighting. So we um, set up a ring light. We've
Yeah.
gone through a number of ring lights in the house
Yeah.
that have broken or, stopped working or wobbled or whatever. Um, and I stand on one side. I'm normally in the bathroom because opposite is the bare wall, which we've purposely not put anything on that wall
Poor self.
um, for self-tapes. Um, yeah, I think there's like one picture that has like it's just really easy to like hook off, hook on,
Yeah.
hook off, hook on. Um, and that's it really. Yeah, I'm usually in the bathroom in front of the sink, or behind the sink, front. And then Elena or David are on the other side, trying to, doing amazing things. Um, and then, for a while, till our son got accustomed to these tapes, we'd be like, hearing him play his video games in the other room and, tell him to be quiet. We laugh a lot at that self-tape outtakes page.
Yes.
It's really hilarious. I mean, the amount of times we've had, situations like that is quite funny.
Yeah. Make like a reel of them, put it out there because that would
Yeah.
be. Oh, brilliant. How many takes would like the perfect video take?
Oh gosh. If I had my way, it wouldn't be as many.
One.
But yeah, depends on the role really. And it depends on how they're feeling. Sometimes Elena's like, oh, no, this is fine. Like maximum three, mum, we've nailed this, and we might do five.
Yeah.
Or she's right, and same with David, or they do love to send them. I'm sure people will relate to this. They love to send them sometimes four or five different scenes with like little monologues in them. And I'm standing there behind waiting for the one line, and then I end up missing it because I'm just like, oh gosh.
And
That's
they've
me holding
given,
either a reporter.
and they've given the best monologue performance ever, and then you've missed your cue.
Yeah, that has happened. That has happened. Um, yeah, it really depends on the role and how comfortable they feel.
Of course. As a mother and as parents, you and David, how did you feel when Elena got that Mean Girls job?
Oh gosh. Yeah, it gives me butterflies thinking about it actually. Um, we were just so happy. We were really pleased for her. She had gone through quite um she'd gone quite through a a period of, lots of auditions, and she'd come off a job that wasn't the most amazing job. And supporting her through that time was quite a lot for all of us. It was quite yeah, it was quite up and down for her. So to hear that she finally got me, I mean, gosh, it was like drawing blood from a stone, waiting for ages.
Yeah.
Um, we were elated, we were really happy for her. And she did, once or twice say, I don't know if I'm if I want to do this anymore. It's so hard. Um, I'm just so thankful that she stuck to it. Um, yeah, it was quite emotional actually. It was quite emotional. I think she had like a massive life lesson and learning curve in that period of time before getting Mean Girls that getting Mean Girls, I think, was a real, I hope she doesn't mind me speaking on her behalf, you know, it's a real kind of affirmation
Sure.
that this is what you're supposed to be doing and you are good at it and you deserve to have the role. Um, so yeah,
Fantastic.
it was lovely.
Her press night, her opening night. Did you feel her nerves?
Oh God, yeah, I kind of don't move in my seat. I sit like this and don't move at all and hold my breath for the whole thing. And then at the end, I go, ah.
Oh,
But I think David was more nervous than I was because I've seen her do like competitions and I've seen her on stage before.
cool.
Um, and so, yeah, as David said, I had a level of like being used to seeing, you know, supporting and being in that sort of mindset and in that role. Um, but yeah, I think as soon as I see her come out, when the plastics come out, um, I actually feel at ease. I still can't move, but I do feel at ease because I know she's in it. I know she's got that sort of stance that she's sitting down and in that pose. And yeah, I know that she's got it. Like she's in it. She's good.
Yeah. What a lovely thing to experience as a family. Must be so rewarding when you can support each other. You've seen what you've all been through behind the scenes, and to finally, have that rewarding moment must be so special for you all.
Yeah, it is. It is really really lovely, and yeah, really grateful for it.
So
Yeah, it's nice.
I'm thinking about your podcast now. Would you ever do like a live episode where you have a live audience and then you have a few guests?
I would love to do that. That is kind of maybe a little goal. I think part of working with Scrum Theatre will be the start of that. Um, yeah, I would really love to. I'm rubbish at like publicizing and like doing all of that
Oh,
stuff and you know marketing the podcast and things like that. So I need to get better at that. But yeah, I would really love to. And I think it'd be really good for people to come together and um listen together and then share and meet, you know, just having like that sort of common ground of why you're there. And it's always quite encouraging, isn't it, to be in a room with other people that are like doing the same thing and there for the same thing and the same goals and all of that.
definitely. Do
Yeah.
you have a dream guest?
Oh gosh. I would like Elena to do it one day.
Oh, you'd be
Uh,
so on.
yeah, but we haven't got around to it. But dream guest. Oh, you've got me there. Who would you like to listen to?
Oh, I mean,
I just thrown it back at you. Sorry.
what would be interesting? Behind the scenes of like how a director goes through the highs and lows of their role, or a um casting panel, something like that, or like a stage manager calling the show in every night, how their perspective of it is. So, you
Yeah,
know,
that would be interesting.
yeah,
And directors have the same. Well, everyone does, don't they? Crew on films. It's like you never know when the next job's coming. It's um, yeah, it would be interesting. It's kind of similar but slightly different. But also, it might help teams when they come together on a job to like understand where everyone's coming from and their experience and how they might be
for sure.
better
And
support.
so, yeah, for performers to know that casting directors, you know, they're just normal people, and going into an audition and just being relaxed in the fact that they are wanting to cast their show. They want you to be good at the part.
Yeah, they do. They do. Yeah, and they've got the pressure of trying to find the right people for someone who's, you know, counting on them. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, you're right. Yeah.
Oh. Well, it's been absolutely lovely talking to you. Everybody who's listening, go and check out Emma's podcast, Mind, Body, Soul, and Stage. It's, really important to talk about these things. And the fact that you've set up this podcast for that and for this industry, I think is just very admirable. So hats off to
Oh,
you.
and
And
thank you too.
the last question I always ask my podcast guests is, can you nominate someone for me to come on my podcast? And I will try and reach out to them and get them on. It can be anyone in the industry, and I will send a message to them and see if they'll do an episode.
Oh, that's so exciting. I tell you who I've tried to get on my podcast, and he's just too busy. He's such a wonderful human. Is Cobner Holbrook Smith.
Okay.
He's an Olivier winner. He's super talented. Um, yeah, I'm trying to think of a female. My mind's gone blank now. You put me on the spot there.
I'll reach out to him, definitely.
Yeah.
That's great.
Okay.
Well, thank you so much, Emma. It's been an absolute pleasure chatting to you and have a lovely rest.
Okay.
Thank you to everyone.
Likewise.
Thank you.
Thank
Speak to you.
you.
Goodbye.